everyone. I'm Sandy Duncan, Intuitive Medium, and welcome to another episode of Rescue Mediums Behind the Scenes. For anyone unfamiliar, Rescue Mediums was a hit TV series that was filmed from 2006 to 2011 and can still be seen in many countries around the world and on YouTube. Mediums would visit people's homes that were disturbed by spirits and rescue them into the light. Today, we're going to hear some fascinating stories from 4 people who were part of this groundbreaking show. May I introduce to you the lovely Edna Dargy, Director of Research, Michael Lamport, Producer, Writer, Narrator, Jackie Dennison, Rescue Medium, International Medium, and Psychic Artist, and Allison Wynne Ryder, Quirky Medium, Rescue Medium, and author of the 2012 book, The Quirky Medium, The Extraordinary Life of an Unlikely Clairvoyant. Welcome, everybody.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Sandy.
Nice to see everyone together.
Absolutely.
Jackie, you had the terrific idea, and Allison, of writing to people or putting it on Facebook and asking viewers if they had any questions. So we have a long list, and if it's okay with you, we're going to jump right in. How's that?
Sure.
Sounds good. Sounds
If
good.
I could start with Edna and Michael, and I've got my specs on, so I'm just going to read these. How long do you spend at a particular location? And this is from Ash.
You go ahead, Edna.
To start? Okay. Well, we're actually on site at the location for 3 days of shooting. But the first day is about the meet and greet and the premonitions. The second day of shooting, we usually do the arrival out of sequence and then the rescue. And the third day we actually have off. That's when I pull together all the research and we try to get all the information together, because on the fourth day, that's when we share the information with the homeowners and do the cheers. So there's actually 3 days on site.
Yeah, that's in the process of making the show, but we do go out substantially earlier, like weeks earlier, to determine whether or not there's a potential for a good episode, literally, and to sort of get the feeling about, you know, are there spirits there that Jackie and Allison can deal with, and so I don't know how much before we go out. I think it could even be as much as a couple of weeks.
That would be right. We try to visit. We shoot about 4 to, we've even done 6 episodes at one time, back to back. So that means we have to visit. Let's say it's 4. We have to visit all 4 places prior to beginning the very first one. So it could be even 2-3 weeks before that.
Oh, that's incredible. Again, from Ash, she's asking, how do you find your haunted houses?
Well, in the very beginning, it was very, very difficult because nobody wanted to suggest their place was haunted. But we get a lot of requests online and through telephone calls with people saying, can you have the rescue mediums come to our place, because we've got something going on that we want to sort of get fixed. So yeah, it's interesting to me how people have sort of come around and sort of said, like, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to ignore that my house is haunted, and I'm not feeling stupid about it. So I think I said once before in this show, one of the great things is I often get the from the homeowners, I get the question, well, you must think, you know, what I've told you, you must think I'm crazy. And I always reply with, no, people who are crazy don't think they're crazy. So you're okay.
I can add just a little bit more to that. Sometimes there was the occasion when at the very last minute, the homeowners were unable to film. And we had to film within a day or two. We had the crew all ready. And so, oh my gosh, we need a place fast. I actually went and driving around the streets in Galt, saw a house that looked very interesting, and went and knocked on the door and said, do you have the need for the rescue mediums to come in and help you here? And they actually did. So that was really good. That was the heavy metal episode.
Yeah.
And occasionally I would, knowing that we would be shooting again in a few weeks, I'd go on the internet and look for different places, but it couldn't be anywhere that was famous in any way because we didn't want it to be, you know, something that was obvious, the history and the stories around the hauntings. So I would look on the internet and just see what I could find. And that's where I came up with Kirkfield and Churchill Mansion in Yarmouth.
Yeah, what did we all do, everybody that's watching, and I'm not just talking about rescue mediums, but what did we all do before we had Google? Before we could go online and sort things out. I can't remember. It's like I can't remember a time without bank machines, though I know I've lived through it. And I can't imagine a time without like what we have now. It's so bizarre to me.
Yeah. I can't imagine a time without hairdressers, but you know, here we are right now. Not for much longer, though. Not for much longer. Thank you. If I could swing over to Jackie and Allison, there's a question from Mindy. How do you girls know where the home is that you're going to? Is it all intuition? Because we know you're not told ahead of time.
Oh, Alison, I'll let you answer that one, Alison.
Okay. So she's asking, how do we know where we go? Well, obviously we don't know where we're going to, so we have to open up, speak to our spirit team, and they give us messages via premonitions and also the psychic art. And as everybody knows, my psychic art is just amazing. And
Every picture tells a story, Alison.
yeah,
Tells a story.
but joking aside, a lot of the information that I receive is through dreams. Edna's cats come to join us. They love the energy, don't they? Cats are amazing. So yeah, I have prophetic dreams. So a lot of the information that I would get would be through the dreams that I'd remember clearly, you know, the next morning. And then, you know, that would go into the premonitions that we've written down. But one that really sprung to mind was, it was, what was it called? About the birds. And it was in Brampton, I think. And in this dream, I was in a kitchen with a big window. And at the window, there was a white bird, a dove. And it was panicking, trying to get out the window. And I felt its panic in the dream. So I was trying to help it. And then when we actually went into the home, walked into that kitchen, and it was exactly the same kitchen that I'd seen in the dream. So we knew then that there was something really significant about that dove, which, you know, it does denote a trapped spirit. And obviously the bird was trapped. And they had a lot of birds hanging up, like ornamental birds as well, 2 white birds. And then we'd done psychic art with a feather pointing down. And there was the exact feather pointing down to the basement. So we knew that that's where we needed to be to do the rescue. It was a really, really strong one. But I love at the end of that one, your voice, Michael, where you say that at military funerals, they release 21 doves to denote, to help, obviously, the spirit on the way of the soldiers that had fought and lost their lives during battle.
And it was a soldier that we rescued on that one, Alison.
It was a soldier, and he overshadowed you. And I just remember distinctly thinking, how am I going to bring her out of it? Because it was so strong, and you were with him, right, weren't you? So strong.
Yeah, because I think he was, it was at the point of death and he knew he was dying and he didn't want to die. He was thinking about, you know, his life, and so it was absolutely very significant with the doves that are released. I didn't know that.
I didn't until Michael said. I thought that was amazing, but you know, with his calm voice at the end, and you're like, oh, and it just finished that episode off so perfectly, and I feel and believe that it helped the viewers to understand more of, you know, a trapped spirit, and how very often spirit through dreams or premonitions or artwork will send something that will, you know, like a definitive thing to give you like a sign or an omen that actually helps to tell the story.
Well, I appreciate the fact that you are saying, Alison, that I have a calm voice, because
it is.
My banker doesn't agree with you, because I'm always going like, hey, where's the money?
Just at the end though, and it just ties in with everything, and the music is phenomenal. I still get tingles when I hear that, when I watch any of the episodes. It's just incredible. And then your voice explaining everything, it helps.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the vibes of the music. Yeah. You made us feel as viewers that we were right there with you, shoulder to shoulder.
That's so lovely to hear.
Jackie, if I may?
Yeah.
A question from Nimue. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Did you ladies have to communicate with any animals on filming to help you understand what was going on?
Oh yeah, that is an interesting question, because Alison's just been talking about her dream with the bird, and then of course there were ornaments of birds, and it's interesting that Edna's cat keeps appearing on the screen. We're watching the monitor, and we can all see each other on the screen, and no, that's not how it appears in the final video. But Edna's cat keeps making an appearance on her screen, because one of the episodes that we did, there was a cat that just kept appearing, a cat that was actually in the property, and it was as if the cat was leading us to where we needed to be. It was very strange, and the cat was actually sat looking at something on the floor. Do you remember, Alison, when it was?
I do. And I think the creepiest thing was when we knew then that we had to go down to the basement. Not that every rescue is in a basement. It sounds like that sometimes, doesn't it? But it's not. Yeah. And the cat, somehow, we'd only seen the cat upstairs, and there it was before us, and we were like, how's it got here so quickly?
It was really was, and it was as if it had to lead us to the place where we needed to make connections.
Yeah.
And I think it was Aurora, the sins of the father, when we got the young boy who kept appearing, who was really scared, and then we were moving around and following him, and then we've got the older man that kept appearing. So when the boy was there, the man wasn't, and vice versa. And we thought he was running away from the man, but in actual fact, it was the same person. It was the man that was having the memory of childhood and I think he was being beaten by his father.
Yeah.
We had to get him to walk past his father, didn't we, to get him through into the light. Well, the cat helped with that rescue. It was the cat was I mean, obviously the cat wasn't going, hello, you have to. It was getting us to follow it through communicating in its own way. And the funny thing is, I work with cat energy quite a lot when I'm doing spirit rescues outside of rescue mediums. I work with cat energy, and we have spirit cats who come to help. And it's usually, the cats usually appear when there's a child spirit that needs help. It's quite bizarre, because I think there's a trust thing there between the animal and the child. And so the animals would be influenced on the earth plane as well as working with cat energy and spirit. So
yeah. I think that's absolutely incredible, because in my research, and I think Edna will probably agree, is that animals are on that vibration plane, that they can sense spirit perhaps even more than we can as human beings, because we have all of these protection stuff around us. And I don't mean like the protection when we go into I just mean our history. And we are like, yeah, where's a cat or a dog, or maybe not a snake, but they really open themselves up to spirit.
So intuitive, aren't they? So intuitive.
Really?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
They just go on instinct, right?
Yes.
Maybe we hold back a little.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Although there is an interesting thing, and I don't know if I said this before on this show. They say in the times that we're in now, all around the world, that cats cannot transmit coronavirus, but if they had a choice, they would.
I know, I wasn't sure that that was going to be a joke or not. I was like really serious about the whole thing, and then obviously it was a joke at the end.
Michael, I'm going to stay with you and Edna. Angie from Angie on the show, where you see a reenactment of the spirits in black and white. Are these actors or family members of the crew? And how long does it take to put an episode together? So maybe both of those things.
Well, the reenactments are just to give the viewer, because you know, television is a visual medium, just to give the viewer a perspective of what Jackie and Alison have seen spiritually, and they are sometimes family members of the crew. More often than not, though, they're Edna or me. I mean, I can't remember how many spirits I sort of been in black and white, but quite a few.
There was one that I recall that was just so funny. Michael and I were reenacting the rescue of a spirit in, I think it was in Port Perry, Scugog. And there was no audio. It was just the camera. And I was supposedly had passed away and was lying on the bed, and yeah, I had passed away. So I had to keep a really straight face and be deadpan about it. And Michael is there. I think you were my husband in spirit. And he was telling all these jokes and trying to crack me up. And I'm trying so hard just to maintain that straight face. It was just, yeah, that was very funny, very serious situation.
Well, I know, but don't forget that, you know, even after we shuffle off this mortal coil, I think humor is still an important thing in the afterlife.
Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah.
And Michael, from the editing perspective, and Edna, how long would it take to actually compile everything that you've done and put an episode together?
Well, I didn't have anything to do with the editing part. It was really just getting everything together before the show. And that was all the time I could get. I would grab every second to try and compile the information whenever I could for it. Perhaps Michael could address the editing part.
Okay.
Well, the editing, in the very beginning, it took about 4 weeks to correctly edit a show. And then as the series progressed, that editing time was cut right back. So we've had shows done in, I think, as little as 2 weeks, which I know that sounds like I guess, a long time. But the editing is often one of the most difficult things. Because like I said before, some things have to be left out, and things have to come in. And fortunately, though, what we've never done, to my recollection, and Jackie, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we've never done like a double take of a rescue. It's always been in the moment as it happens. And we've never said like, oh, okay, oh, well, we missed this shot, so let's reenact that. And I don't think we've ever done that. I think every single time.
No, we never did. We never have, you know, because you can't really recreate the moment.
No.
And we've said right from day one, I think this is why it's so authentic, the show is so authentic, is that we have said right from the very beginning that if we, if the crew, for whatever reason, either the sound isn't working right, or the, you know, it was tapes when we were first starting. If the tapes have run out or whatever, or something happens and it can't be filmed, we can't say to Spirit, no, just hang on a minute, we just need to reload the film, or, you know, the sound quality is not great and we need to get that right. So can you just hang on? You know, we'll just wait with the rescue. We do that. You can't. We just go with the flow of what it is, and if it's missed, it's missed, and we can't do anything about that. We would never ever recreated anything at all. It's what you see on screen is us just going for it, you know. I mean, the editors do such a fantastic job, you know, how they bring the mix of everything, bring in the you know, the reenactments of what we are seeing. And what we're feeling, and how they bring all the research in at the appropriate time. As you say, the music is so overwhelming as well. It really works. They do an amazing job with the show. Yeah,
maybe in the future, when, not if, but when we do other episodes, to answer your question there, Jackie, maybe if we do get the spirits involved, then we can give them a little credit at the end, and we don't have to pay them. So that's a bonus.
That's a good idea.
Jackie and Allison, I have a question from Catherine, and she is wondering, when you are overshadowed by spirit, how do you get them to remove themselves and stay away?
It's teamwork again, isn't it, Jackie?
Definitely. Definitely. Because we look out for each other as well, don't we? You know, so the thing is, we allow the overshadowing, we allow it to happen so that the story can be told, you know, because we have to, what we're seeing in our minds, we have to try and project. The quickest way to do it is to allow the spirit to sort of walk into our space so that they can tell the story. So our guides, who we work with extremely closely, allow that to happen. At all times, though, we have control over that, even though it seems as though we don't have control. You know, one of us will fall on the floor or be overcome by the feelings that the spirit is trying to project. We do, and that's teamwork in a different way. That's the teamwork between the two of us, between Alison and I. and then the teamwork with our spirit guides as well, who are controlling things from their side. It is quite a dramatic way of telling the story, but it works for this purpose, you know, so that we can get to the bottom of what's happening a lot quicker. That's how I see it. How do you see it, Alison?
I see it the same. I mean, some of them are stronger than others, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I know on a couple of the episodes, I actually wondered whether I would come out of it. But I mean, I trust you implicitly, you know, and you're guiding me out. And it must have been really hard work. But like you said, and it's so true, that our spirit teams are amazing, and they work together for obviously our highest good and also the highest good of the spirit that we're sending to the light. And it is just incredible, you know. And, you know, we walk into the house, we don't know what we're going to find. And, you know, like Jackie said, you have to invite the spirit forward into our aura, if you like, so that they can then convey what their life was like, how they're feeling, although we can actually feel the physical feelings as well. And that can make us feel really emotional. So when, you know, yourself, when spirit come close, that is really emotional, you know, because some of them are just, they are lost souls looking possibly for the love of their life. And we're the ones that, you know, we do our best to sort of help them to be reunited.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.